and then put it on YouTube afterwards as well, so people can check it out there. So that being said, I'm going to start the live on Facebook. And once that is going, I'll let people in to the Zoom here.
All
And
right.
we'll get rock and rolling here in the 20, 30 seconds here. I always have to check on my phone to
Okay.
make sure it's actually live because there we go. We are live. We are live. Hey, folks, hope you're doing well. I'm going to be letting in also the people here on Zoom. Hey, folks, hope you're doing amazing. Super excited to do this. I like to call them a no secrets interview because there's too many people in the online space that they don't kind of share the behind the scenes of how to build a business. And I love to bring on real humans like Neela here to share with you exactly what's working well for them so that you can kind of take some of the information that maybe you are going to learn here today and actually throw it into your own business as well. So I'm just going to make sure that we are good to go on
What's
all
working
streams.
well for them?
Going to make sure that my Zoom streaming over to Facebook is muted so that we're not getting any feedback on it. But basically, welcome on, folks. Really glad to have you. I'm going to make it so that just me and Neela are on video just for the recording. So I'm going to be turning off everyone else's videos. Don't hate me. But Neela, before we get started, I wanted you to just tell people a little bit about who you are and kind of what type of business you run. I think it's also, it gives people a good perspective of what type of business you have and yeah, gives them a bit of context. So share with people a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Graduated from the FDN program in October of 24, so pretty recently, but I am, yeah, a health coach specializing in uh, problem. And for me personally, my issues were rooted in gut health. Yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for introducing yourself. So let's take people to, because I always like to, for people to know a little bit of like context of where you came from, where you're going. So let's talk a little bit about like before, prior to CCI, prior to joining the program, you had obviously gone through the FDN stuff and you had started your business. Where was everything at before CCI as far as the business growth side of things go?
Yeah, that's an easy question because it was a big fat zero. I thought that I was definitely just mistaken on how hard it was going to be to actually start seeing clients. I think like
Right.
you're seeing all your peers do it and it looks so seamless, but I
Yeah.
graduated in October, took a couple months to stuff together and then launched in January and or maybe launched mid-December and I had
Mm.
like absolute crickets. My Instagram was like I only had like 200 followers. Nobody was really reaching out or interested and I didn't know how to talk to people, I would say, looking back. And so I just didn't sign any clients and that's when I started to panic a little bit. And thought like I do work full time, so I had that income, but I want to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just panicking.
100%.
I will say
That's
that.
totally fair. And I mean, we see this happen quite a bit because I mean, people like yourself, whether it's in the FDN certification or people who are even like dietitians or even psychologists, they get this schooling that costs a lot. And then they're like, oh, hopefully getting clients is going to be easier. And unfortunately, getting clients can be difficult. And I mean, I want to give you kudos actually. Like I could see before you even sign up for our program, you were putting in the work. You were like posting consistently. You were trying to do the do. So clearly, like you were an action taker and someone that wanted to go after it, but obviously just wanted the results sped up a little bit. Now,
Yes.
one of my favorite questions to ask is always, why did you decide to actually invest in a mentor? Because I mean, there's many different paths to success in our day and age. What was kind of your main thought process when you were thinking about, maybe I should get someone to actually help me build this?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it was when I started to see how slow and how much more challenging this was going to be than I thought. And I realized that, yeah, I had all these skills to be a great FDN, but I did not have skills in the business realm. Like I had basic social media knowledge, but I knew it took a lot more than that. And I don't know if it was something maybe you had in one of your posts or something that we had talked about in DMs, but it was just like I could do this. Like I knew in my soul and deep down that I was capable of doing this, of having a business, I but it could maybe take me like 3 years to get to where I am today, or I could have somebody help me get there within 6 months. And so for me, just looking at my long-term goals, like this is exactly where I needed to be because I knew I could get there faster with someone telling me what to do, exactly how to do it, and then build these skills that are going to last me a long time.
100%. And you know, I love that, and I actually try to be very transparent with a lot of people as well, because I find that there's some mentors in the online space who they'll be saying things like, "Oh, you'll never succeed on your own." And frankly, I don't believe in that. I believe that, you know what, if you took 2 to 3 years on your own of like watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts and trial and error, you could probably get to a full-time income on your own. And the whole purpose of mentorship is not like a black and white, you'll only be successful in mentorship. It's going to be less painful. It's going to take less time. You're going to get there quicker. Like it's these different things. And so I'm often really honest with people, being like, if people are like, I think I'm going to try it on my own, I'm like, you totally can. Like at the end of the day, there is that path. It's just, what do you value more? Collapsing time and getting there quicker, or spending more time, right? And that's where for most humans, they start to come to a realization of, I'd rather spend money to make things happen quicker, because money I can get back, time I can't get back. And so you clearly had kind of like the right thought process. Now, I do actually want to talk about this a little bit, because so many people are, when they're thinking about investing in some type of mentor or whatever it is, they get kind of freaked out, right? They get a little bit freaked out. They're a little bit like scared to invest in themselves, especially when some people have invested in themselves and it hasn't worked out so well. Other people maybe haven't invested in a business mentor. So, what were some of your feelings when you were thinking about working with CCI, and some of the doubts maybe even that you had?
I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of joke about this now, but it's like I can't believe I'm just gonna admit this to like all these Facebook Live people and Zoom. But like when Morgan was like, I did my initial call with her and she's amazing, but I cried. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I
Right.
don't know if I can even like how I'm gonna afford this. Like I've already spent so much on my own health and becoming an FDN. I did not anticipate the fact that I was gonna need a coach. And I think that that's like such a common thing that I hear a lot from the community or even just health coaches in general. But I was terrified. It was the scariest investment and decision that I made. But honestly, that also was a motivator for me to do all the work and succeed. I don't know if that makes sense, but just knowing that I
Okay.
had just spent invested and like I'm like, well, I need to make the next 6 months. I need to do literally everything I can and what they tell me the next 6 months to decide if this is what I want to do and if it will work. And thank
100%.
goodness it has worked so far.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and that's also part of investing in yourself, because frankly, it's scary to put money down, right? Because you have to
Yeah.
have belief in a couple things. You have to have belief in yourself that you're actually
Yes.
going to put in the work and do the things necessary. You also have to have belief that whatever program you choose is actually going to have the right strategy. It's actually
Hmm.
working for other people. And so I do want to say kudos to you, because frankly, lots of people don't take that leap, and you took that leap. And I'm really, really proud of you for doing that. Now, let's talk about some of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, the first, I know the first month, I know the conversation was around, you were like, oh, I need to get clients, I need to make this work. And we were
Yeah.
like, okay, we're going to follow the process. So, take people through maybe that first like 30 to 60 days where, I mean,
Yes.
we're going to get into it a little bit more, but obviously your third month in the program is where things really skyrocketed, which is quite normal when you're
Mhm.
starting a new pathway. You start to see more momentum the further down you go. But what was going through your head the first 30, 60 days?
Definitely a lot of like, did I make the right decision? Conversations in my head. A
Yeah.
lot of like still continuing a lot of fear, not I mean, to be honest, I did not have a client for my first 6 weeks, and um,
Yeah,
there are a lot of really great testimonials and stories of people getting clients immediately, but it's okay if it take I think I had to learn and be okay with the fact that, hey, I might not get a client in the first week. Like it might take a few weeks. And it did. It
yeah,
took me 6 weeks to really put all these systems and strategies into place. But then as soon as I was in a place to be consistent with those, that's when things really started changing. So yeah, the first 6 weeks were rough and scary. And I really leaned on my coach, Cassie, who is really great and knows that I need a lot of words of affirmation and reassurance. And she gave that to me, and she just kept telling me, you're doing all the right things. It's going to happen. And I just really had to trust her,
absolutely.
and trust the process program.
That's so important because, yeah, for sure, some people come into a program and they get results week one. And usually those people, whether their audiences are slightly larger or they have been in this for a long time, there's different reasons. And I always like to set proper expectations for people because it's the same thing with a lot of things, whether it's a health journey that you're going on or if you're in a new relationship, it takes time for things to like kind of grow and to actually develop, right? Like if I wanted to go from never running to like running a marathon in 3 weeks, that's probably a really dumb idea. Like that's probably not something I should do. But so many people in business think that they'll go from brand new, never having built anything to this really big business, right? So I'm really glad that you had the proper expectations on this. And it did take you 6 weeks in the program. Now, actually, and I want to dive into this a little bit because some people know, some people maybe don't know. When they're working in CCI in the growth program that you're in, they get paired up with one of the specialists on our team. And sometimes people are like, oh, why can't I work with like Terry or Ruben, like whatever it is? But actually, maybe share with people a little bit about like how helpful it has been so far to be working with someone like Cassie, who's in the field herself, and maybe speak
Yes.
a little bit to that.
That's actually something that really did draw me to CCI, was that every single one of the one-on-one coaches has their own actual coaching practice, and they're doing it successfully and making a lot of a lot of money basically.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is cool, because a lot of coaching programs I'd look into were coaches who coach other people to be coaches, but have any of them been a wellness coach, been an FDN, all these types of things? And that was a really, really big factor that drew me into the program. And um I mean, my time with Cassie's been so invaluable. Like there are so many skills I didn't even realize I needed until really starting one-on-one coaching. Um, so I will say that that was a really big draw for me, is working with Cassie, who is also in the wellness field and space. That um, I mean, yeah, just leaning on her as like a mentor in that sense, but also as a business minded person, like she's changed my whole thoughts and visions around like what it means to own a business and the things I need to be keeping track of. Like we talk metrics all the time, and she knows that I get a little bit like annoyed with that, but it's so important to know your numbers and your KPIs. Like we talk about that constantly. So,
love it.
yeah.
Hey, here's what I want to do because I know some of the people are jumping on the call here today. We have a couple questions. We'll answer them in a little bit. And
Oh,
if you have
cool.
any other questions, folks, keep on putting them either in the Zoom chat, or if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can put them in the comments section. So I want to quickly go through kind of some of the results you got in your third month where we started
Yeah.
to see some momentum, because then I want to dive into some of like the tactical stuff so that people can actually understand, okay,
Yeah.
what strategies like the actual to-dos are working well. So let's quickly go third month. You were starting to see some momentum build. What happened in the third month?
In the third month, I signed, well, altogether, I have 8 clients now. So I started with 0.
Yeah,
And I think I got 2 clients in, or like late April was, I'm sorry, late March, early April. But then I signed, whoa, I'm like looking at my board, 5 or 6, sorry, 6 clients
yeah,
in April, which was wild. Like it felt like a dream. But yeah,
yeah,
so now I'm
100%.
up to 8 clients altogether.
I
Yeah.
love that. And one of the important things that we talked about is like it's great for new entrepreneurs to get clients that are like, the people that are in their warm network or people that they kind of know. How
Mhm.
many of these eight
Yeah.
clients are complete strangers who didn't even like know about you in the last couple months and like became
Yeah.
clients?
They were all All of them were from social media. I also partner with a local gym, a holistic gym in my neighborhood, but that's only one of my clients is from that space. So 7 of my 8 clients were all from social media
I
and I
love that.
didn't know them. And yeah, and that was just one of the biggest skills I was lacking was how to talk to people on
Mm,
social media, and how to have those conversations and how to nurture them and build relationships and building trust, I think is so big. I think um, my first initial thought about talking to people in the DMs was like, oh gosh, like I don't want to sound salesy and I don't want to be like bothering people. But I
yeah.
really changed my mindset around that. Like I'm so excited to get to connect with people, get to talk to them about their health,
Yeah.
give them free advice and information. Like that is that's what I look forward to actually like every day when I sit down and do my messages. I'm like, okay, who am I going to connect with today? And I think changing your mindset around being salesy versus really just connecting and getting to know people and offering help is like is the biggest change
Absolutely.
I've made in my mindset, which helped
Yeah.
me a lot.
Absolutely. And let's take a deep dive in this because I mean there's a couple different pieces here. We are in a bit of a trust recession where I mean, frankly, back in 2020, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie to you folks, like it was easier to get clients, but there's a lot of people who are still using 2020 strategies, which don't worry, Neela, we're not teaching you 2020 strategies. And frankly, a lot of people are kind of tired of like the gimmicky, like really hardcore sales stuff as well. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually let's get granular with this. I kind of wanted to go over number one, our audience growth strategy that we taught you. And then also, yeah, get a bit more into the nurturing conversations about how to just like show up and care for people. And also, I want to talk about the sales side of things because a lot of people are scared that they have to be like this incredible salesperson to make sales. When if they do things right and they pre-sell them through their content and just caring, it doesn't have to be that way. So let's go through these one at a time. And folks, again, you're gonna have questions on this stuff, throw them down below. So audience growth. How many new followers have you gotten in the last 3 months with our kind of like boosted methods?
I'm up to like I think 850. So I'm still don't even have 1,000 followers, guys. You have, but I guess from 250, so 600
So
from
about
the last
600.
3 months.
Okay, so about like 200 per month, about 50 per week.
Yeah.
So and like I said
Yes.
before this, I'm like you can like be honest with these people, you can be transparent with them. The kind of like the boosted method that we taught, what like tell people a little bit about it, how it works, so that they have a bit of a better idea of like, okay, how are these followers coming in? How do we make sure they're our ideal clients, etc.
Yeah. This was definitely a game changer, but it's not something that I think I could have just done on my own. Like I definitely needed the guidance on how to make a post, a boosted post that would attract the right people. So you can't just
Yeah,
like boost any post is what I learned. But yeah, like that strategy alone, like just has helped me in my confidence, I would say the most because it feels good when you're getting 50 new followers a week and you're just having an ad out there. I don't spend a lot on my ad. I spend $5 a day. So that is
yeah.
just what my budget is allotting for, right? So even with $5 a day, I'm bringing in 50 followers a week. So I still post content 7 days a week. Like I post on my feed, but I'm not relying on those posts to go out and get the algorithm and all the things. Like I just have these followers coming in. And the best part is that these followers are looking for help with the specific issues that I talk about, right? And that's the thing is like getting followers is great, but do they actually want your services or need your
Right
services,
one.
right? So that's the other piece of it. So in a way, it's like I'm confident and more confident because I'm getting more people to my page and that's making me feel good and I can reach out to more people and have more conversations, but it's also truly just driving the perfect person that would need my services. I hope that makes sense.
100%. And here's the crazy thing. So like folks, some of you are probably doing the math on this. So I think you've been running a boosted ad for probably like I'm guessing like maybe 10 weeks, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
So
let's go with
10
that. I think it was like yeah, let's say that. We'll say 10 weeks. That's
something
fine.
like that. So you've spent somewhere in between 350 to 450 bucks and you brought in
Yeah.
$12,000 of sales in the last month. So
I
many
did.
people are
I
used to
did.
spending thousands of dollars in the hopes of getting clients when they're using some of these outdated strategies that are just sending people to whether it's VSLs, webinars, email lists, whatever it is. This way, you're growing an audience that you can keep on nurturing, which is just so powerful. Now, talk people through a little bit of what you do when you get these people as followers, because a lot of people I find sell people too quickly and then show up ratio
Mhm.
is low. People ghost you in the DMs. They don't even look at the rest of your content because they're just feeling turned off. So how do you
Yeah.
start to like nurture these leads?
That's a good question. That took me a minute to figure out. That's like I think part of like that first 6 week window was learning how to really talk to people. But you know, working with the group calls each week and then obviously with Cassie, like I was able to really refine a good method. But yeah, I mean, I reach out to new followers and I offer them, you know, a free value piece for joining my community and just like as a gift, because you know they're an ideal client with having gut health issues. So then I offer that free value piece, and then we start a conversation. And it's again just about connecting and figuring out what they're really struggling with and what their goals are, or maybe what they've tried so far that hasn't worked. And a lot of it is also you qualifying them to, you know, potentially go lead towards a call. So not every conversation you have is going to lead towards a free discovery call or whatever you call it in your space. But
Mhm.
um, I think, yeah, the nurturing piece comes in where you are continuing to give them tips and advice and just empathy, because especially in the wellness space, so many people have tried so many things and they're getting
Yeah.
dismissed by their doctors and things like that. So just like I really empathize with that because I went through that myself. So yeah, I mean, I just think connecting on a human level is pretty
I love
important,
it.
but then also just offering them, knowing when to offer advice and then knowing when to say, hey, like, I would love to meet you and up a
Yeah.
free call for us to talk about your situation and see how I can help move you in the right direction. And that is getting them on a call, and that's going to just build more trust. And not every single call will obviously lead to a sale, but
Yeah.
you will find the right clients that way.
Yeah, 100%. And now I know a lot of people are worried that they're going to get basically taught sales to basically hard sell people and to do like these crazy, like massive price drops or like you can only sign up within 24 hours or whatever it is. Tell people a little bit about like
Yeah.
how you're being taught sales and how, I mean, obviously it's still effective, so we don't even have to cover that. It still works. But tell people a little bit about
Yeah.
that, because a lot of people I know who are probably watching this have been taught to do it in a very hardcore sales way. So how does sales feels to you?
Yeah. That I don't really resonate with that, especially as a wellness, health and wellness coach, all the things like we're
Yeah,
not salespeople, but I will say that oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I will say that I only have one offer right now. Like we are not, I do not have a downsell. I'm where my goal really is perfecting the offer that I currently have, because I do want to have long-term clients, high ticket clients, right? So if I have a downsell and I'm having to utilize that every time, that's just defeating the purpose to me. It's more work for
yeah,
less money, I would say. Um, so I think that is helpful, but yeah, I mean, even the
yeah.
and not a hard sales. Like not everybody is interested in a program even when they get on a call, and that's okay. But a lot of people are looking for answers and want to know what you have to offer, and that's when you can really go into everything that you provide in your program.
I love that. I love that. And this is I talk about this quite often, which is like a lot of other business mentors, they teach you how to sell, where I feel like at CCI
Hmm.
we teach you how to get people to buy, which is very
Hmm.
different. Because I often tell people hate being sold to, but they actually
Yeah.
love buying stuff. And it's a different experience. It's basically instead of you being across the table trying to get them to your side, you're on the same side of the table being like, what would be best for you? Like, what do you
Yeah.
like? What do you want? What do you feel like is going to be like? It's a much different experience, and it's the funny thing is it's just as effective, but it feels very different. Now we have a question from Eliza. She's saying, in the first 6 weeks, like, did you have a lot of leads, but they didn't want to pay? She's saying like she's having a lot of problems when people like she's saying when I say the price, she's having problems with like people
Yeah.
actually jumping in. So
Yeah.
any more?
That's a yeah, no, that is definitely part of it. There was a lot of rejection in the first 6 weeks, which I had a hard time with, but it is really about reframing your mindset around that. But also, I will say that I personally did not feel very confident in my offer, and I think that that showed when I dropped the price. So obviously,
Right.
don't know your situation, but I was like, it's scary at first selling something that is 4 digits or four, whatever you call it, but like
Four figures.
yes, four
Yeah, yeah,
figures. Thank you. It is scary at first, and especially when you're a new coach. Um, so I think that like my self-confidence was reflecting in those calls that I was getting a
yeah.
lot of no's to, but that was something that I got to take back to Cassie, and we talked about that, and we worked on things. We changed, sorry, we changed my offer.
Yeah.
Numbers game. She compares it a lot to dating, and I told her I hate dating and I don't want to be back in the dating field, but here we are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's also a numbers game. It's like the more you do it, the more confident that you get.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And to quickly answer Eliza on mine of things, like if people are having problems with the price point, it's only there's only can be a couple things that you can work on. Either we need to find a way of increasing the value of your program, right? Your program needs to solve bigger problems for people, or we need to find a way to kind of pre-sell them better. A lot of times if we get people on like a call too quick, and we don't warm them up properly, they're also going to kind of like be sticker shocked. You actually want to get it to where for a lot of people, they jump on a call with you and they hear the price point, and maybe it sounds scary, but in their mind, they're thinking that's what I expected it to be. So
Hmm.
make sure that the marketing is set up properly. Make sure like if people are booking calls with you, that the answers maybe or the questions on the form to book a call are getting them in a proper mindset and kind of increasing the value of your program. So there's a couple things there, folks. Folks, we got a couple more minutes here. If you guys got questions, drop them now. If you kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about the specifics of the strategies that Neela is doing. But Neela, talk to us a little bit. What's the next goal for you while people are maybe commenting some questions? You've now obviously had some pretty
Yeah.
decent, like momentum is building. What's next for you?
Yeah, we actually kind of just talked about this in my most recent one-on-one call, and it's really to maintain the consistency and the momentum that I have going. Like, yeah, it was a really great month, and there's a lot of great highs with that,
Mm.
but to keep, for longevity's sake, like I need to keep it up. I need to continue with these kinds of months to reach my goals. And then obviously, I think on the business end, another goal that we're going to work towards is creating another offer. So
Yeah,
starting to think about downsells. And that's only because now I feel really confident in my higher priced offer. But also just
yeah,
having an offer that could cater to a different demographic as well. And so I'm super
totally.
excited to dive into that and learn more about that. But really just for me, managing my time and be able to sustain what I've accomplished in the
Yeah.
last month. I want that. That's my biggest goal.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. So I think that that's going to be a really important piece is because, I mean, for a lot of people, especially because you still have a full-time job or you still have some work that you do, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now can we make
Yeah,
this
yeah.
consistent so that you can get confident to get some time back into your schedule so that
Hmm.
you can do more, right? And we see this happen usually when
Yeah.
people are averaging 10,000 a month or more when working a full-time job is you get to that point where it's like, okay, now's the time to make a little bit of a leap, right? And so, no, I'm
Yes,
really
and I'm
excited.
excited. That's also something we talked about today is like when does that leap look like and all the things. So I mean that is the end goal obviously is to be doing this full time. So I'm just so
Yeah,
excited to work towards that.
100%. I love that. Lena down below, she's asking, so any sales in May so far, she's saying? How's May been?
We've got one.
We got
We've
one?
got one in May. Yeah,
There you
but
go. There you go.
yeah, I
One in
mean it's still early. I'm not worried.
Yeah. Well, and 100%. And I actually helped you with this the other day because I was saying that for a lot of new entrepreneurs, especially if you're working a full-time job, you'll get to this where you have a really big month. But then guess what happens? Your limited time that you have every single day goes towards you now have tons of sales calls and clients that you're onboarding, and you start to get a little bit more busy with the delivering. And sometimes in those seasons, we do a little bit less of like the lead generation and the marketing stuff. So that's where like I know for a fact, like I always expect it when someone has like their first like really big month, I'm like, okay, the next week or two, it's gonna feel like it's coming down a little bit, but it's just because you're getting used to having so many more clients. It was the same thing when I started as an online health and fitness coach, and Terry was running the health and fitness coaching business with me. Like we would have a big month, and then it would feel like we were just so busy, like getting people's like plans together and their fitness stuff together, and like it just took up so much time. Um,
Yeah,
I
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I know for a fact that obviously you're going to keep on crushing it.
Right.
Folks, we got like 1 or 2 more minutes here. If you have any other questions, or if you're watching this after the fact, whether it's on the Facebook Live or on YouTube, you can comment your questions down below here, Neela. But yeah, what would be, I mean, Neela, last piece of advice for people watching this who are wanting to themselves get to their first $10,000 a month or whatever it is. What other piece of advice would you have that you would like give from your experience so far?
I think for me the biggest thing was just doing exactly what y'all teach me. I think that a lot of it is very foreign, and there were things that made me feel uncomfortable at first. But to me, that's also how you grow. You grow in the discomfort of things, and so might have felt like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or this feels weird, or I don't know. Like those doubts are normal, but
Yeah.
to just at the back of my head was like, okay, I committed to 6 months of this. I'm going to do exactly what Ruben and Cassie tell me to
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
And honestly, that has just been the biggest thing. So, I mean, I know it's such a big leap of faith to join a program or have a mentor, a business coach, all the things. Um, but yeah, y'all are experts and I'm not. And so I just have to do exactly what you say. And
Love
that
it. I love
honestly is
it.
like the best piece of advice I could give, because I do talk, I mean, like I do hear like, oh, I just don't know if I can do this. And it's like, yeah, you gotta work through that mindset and just do it. Just do it.
100%. I mean, it's the same thing like 2 years ago. I wanted to get into like the trail running here because I don't know if you folks know, we live here in the mountains. I love to get up in the mountains.
Yeah, your
And
view is insane.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I kept on getting injured when I was trying to do it on my own. So I hired a mentor, a trail running coach, and guess what? For the next year and a half, no injuries. Like I was progressing so fast, and guess what? I was just doing everything he said. Even though sometimes, frankly, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. But I was like, I'm
Hmm.
paying this guy. I'm gonna listen to it and see where it goes, and it worked out incredibly well. And that's what a good mentor can do. Now, folks, Neela's busy, so I'm going to let her go here in a minute or two. But what I'm going to do is, if anyone else is kind of curious about these strategies, the different audience growth stuff, the nurturing stuff, the sales strategies that, frankly, are kind of, in my opinion, what's working best in 2025 right now. Like the strategies are working so well. What I'm going to do for you folks is if anyone else is interested in chatting with one of our team members, a growth advisor on our team, I'm going to drop the call link down below here if you want to book in something. We here at CCI, we're not like crazy hardcore pressure salespeople. A lot of you know that, like we're pretty chill. But if you're interested in learning how it could actually benefit you, go ahead and book in a call and we can chat with you folks. So Jessica is saying, so happy for you, Neela. I have faith that you can nail that consistency. Megan needs to run. Thanks for jumping on, Megan.
Guys, that's so sweet.
Julie says you're awesome. Folks, thanks for taking 30 minutes out of your day. Neela, thanks for taking 30 minutes out of your day. And if
Of
you folks got any other questions, feel free to throw them over and we'll be seeing you folks soon. So bye for now, folks. We will chat soon. Have a great rest of your Friday.
Bye.